Early afternoon, everybody. I'm gonna give a second to see if anybody comes back in and if they can see if you guys can see it in vertical or horizontal. So I'm just gonna give it a second. I just had to reset the stream. So it was the first time I did it on my new tablet, and of course I put it in vertical. But I remember some of the things I had to do on the old tablet to work around that. Now that they have the vertical lives, which they're trying to encourage, but I'm trying not to do it for as long as possible. So we'll see if the horizontal, if it works right now. But it's going to take a second. It's going to take a second um, for this to get passed out to everybody. So there was like 90 something people in here when we first started. Before it took a minute for everybody to get in here. But I'm just curious if it's in horizontal or not. Everybody. Oh, much better, the Gatman says. So hopefully this is much better. And I'm pretty excited about everybody being able to see my new tablet now because it looks so much better when I'm doing my stuff. It looks so much clearer on my end. I just want to know, does it look and sound a lot better than the other one I was using? Because when I watch my update back, I'm like, wow. So I was trying to bring in a much better some don't see a difference. Sounds great. Yes. Well, when you're watching this, because I had to do it on my own tablet, you have to turn it up when you're watching my stuff. So don't put it on the recommended. Put it to the highest possible quality you can watch it on. Because this is running in the highest possible what YouTube can do. It's not in vertical. You gotta if it's in vertical. You got to turn your screen, my friend. This is not in vertical. But I'm gonna go through and we got a lot to talk about here. I'm actually really excited. Trading with J Ride, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge, and sends a $10 donation. Wow, you're way too generous. Holy smokes! I can certainly touch on gold because I've been building into a position in digital tokenized on one of the exchanges. And PAX G I've been building in. But yeah, no, you just got to turn it. So, a lot to talk about. I go through my comments. I can see a lot of people are speaking for me, misrepresenting what I've actually done. The reason why I've sold off some of my non-essential positions and some of my non-essential parts of holdings is because I want to get longer on a few things. So, yes, I sold some of DGB in a swing spot because to me it looked like, for my own benefit, I'm trying to get the most I can out of DGB. So when these death crosses, they gave me an opportunity here. When DGB gets rejected up here, I knew that hopefully it won't come down any lower. But I'm trying to have more than just 1 million. I'm trying to get net long on a few different tokens. And XRP is one of them. That's why if you hear me out, there's a reason why certain ones I'm not selling out of. Like XRP, I'm not touching for sale. DGB, I did it for a reason. I've been able to play DGB over the years because it has such volatile swings that I can buy in cheaper and do it without some of my other resources. And if it comes down to that 1-0 level, I could essentially flip 800,000 tokens for 22% more. And to me, that was worth it because now I'll have like 1.3 million for the same funds, if you understand what I'm saying. So there's a few other things though. There's some dead weight that I sold off, like ESE speculative, but I sold that shit off. Even though I want it, it's still a speculative one as far as my bigger agenda. So it got me a nice percentage gain. I had to sell it off. There's a few of the other ones that, like IOTEX, I had that in replacement for IOTA. So now I have to be honest with myself and say, we got to sell this off and try to find to get longer in IOTA by itself. And then there's other things, there's a lot of different routes that I went, but make no mistake about it. I want this drop to happen, not so that I can sell out. I want to get longer on XRP because I feel like I should have did a better job of getting more. So I'm not looking to sell out. So everybody who's misrepresenting my comments, just come to the source. Just come to the source. If I'm going to sell out of XRP, you're going to know it. So basically, I had a plan going in. If anybody's been in my audience from 2023 in the bear market, I had a bunch of different crypto that I bought, and I said I was going to sell it when it hit a top of a cycle, not the definite top, but when it hit a spot where I could remodel my whole house. Who's been in my audience long enough to know this? So basically, I trimmed the fat, as somebody said. I needed funds, and I know it's going to cost me like $60,000 to fix everything I want in my house, and I made it. So I did what I needed to do with my own plans. So now I had somebody come in to do an estimate on the kitchen, and I'm already getting my windows put in on February 12th, paid 1/3 of that. But the point is I had a plan going in because I bought my house, and because of what we've done, I've paid my house off already. So now it comes to, I need to fix my house. But do you see what I'm saying? Even if XRP is bearish, why can't it come down here and then create the ultimate M if it's going to be bearish? Just when we start thinking, it needs to be what makes sense, not what we want. But that's why I buy more than just XRP. At the time, it didn't seem like a lot. And I got criticized a lot because, oh, Tom, what does it matter? If you think XRP is going X, Y, and Z, why would you buy that? I didn't know we were in geometry or calculus, but that's where we ended up. Algebra, maybe even. Replace the variable here and prove this there. So I simply, the dollar is trash. So I tried to put every single dollar that I had, and I built it into something over the last couple of years. And I wanted to fix my house up. My house was made in 1955. It was Julie's grandma. They didn't really ever fix anything up. The counters and windows have been in since the 70s. I had to already do the HVAC. I had to do the air conditioning, the heater. So the whole kitchen's got to be done. The floors, the fucking windows, the bathroom. So it's a chore. But I knew that this cycle right now was going to pay for it all, and it was going to cost me minimal. Literally, I put less than $10,000 into this for the part that I sold out. That's going to pay for $60,000 in repairs. Like, that's my plan. That's what I wanted. So I'm not just going to let it go by the wayside. But at the same time, I've got $43,000 just free in liquid cash right now. That 11, I've chosen to take 30,000 of it, and over time I've built it in to PAXG, which is a digitized gold. It plays off of digital, you know, the real gold, but it's in digital form, tokenized. So that's how I've decided to at least par my money. Because now when the US dollar comes crashing down, I know what's going to happen with gold, and we're going to get into it. Actually, I'll start with it for trading with J-Ride, because he's been in Tom's Army for over 3 years. And J-Ride, just heads up, I have B2 gold. You know this. This is the point when I said I'm not going to try to sell through it anymore. I bought it back. And if it when it came down here, I don't know if you were watching, it was at like 247, 244. I don't remember what it was. But I said I'm going to keep buying it all the way through, because now it's come to a point where I don't really care about selling it. I'm just going to collect the dividends. And if it comes all the way to 190, I'm going to continue buying more and more. I didn't think I'd ever get past 3,000. But because of the strategy of selling it and then buying it back, I'm over 4,000 of them now. So honestly, I've gained myself a lot of net profit. So I'm not dicking around anymore. I'm just going to keep buying it as it goes down like the plan once was. And at $2.46 or 44, I don't remember what it is. It's already come down 30%. So if it comes down another 14% from there, I don't care. I'm just going to keep buying it. Today's the first day I've used my new tablet. I freaking love it. And I'm a very, I don't want to say stingy, but I like to use things until I shouldn't be using them. And I think Julie felt pity on me because, truth be told, my screen had a crack on it on the bottom left side that you couldn't see. So basically, I cut my finger a little bit sometimes using it. But it was still working, you know. It's a working tablet. Like, I had a hard time. I had a phone from 2017 that Julie finally, you know, said you need to upgrade. Because I don't even have you guys need to understand, I don't even have a phone plan for my phone. All I use is this second line app. I'm dead serious. And Julie always laughs at me. But hey, it's not about being stingy. It's about understanding what I think is important. So my phone, I literally don't have a mobile service. It's all Wi-Fi. So it's pretty nice. So I do things in a different way. So my new phone I got is the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, which went extinct in 2020. So a new phone to me is still from 2020. And I paid it all off for like $310. I just bought it off of Amazon Unlocked. That's how I do it. Same thing with the tablet. I just buy it and pay it off. I'm not paying them $500 in finance, yada yada. So, but it also came with a stylus that is actually a rather nice one that I never usually use, but I wonder if it would actually help. You know, if I actually got in with the pen now, if it would help with the analysis. So anyhow, I appreciate the questions, but guys and gals, if you think I've went anywhere with my portfolio yet, when I trim the fat off of it now, and then I don't have to worry about anything else, I don't have to worry about the nonsense that I'm speculating on. Hey, it might be tied into the IoT because it's an application for it and yada yada can time. Who gives a rat's ass at this point? Honestly, they've made me enough money. I want to go through the sure thing. Utility, the ones that I've already represented, and the ones that I understand. Wow, this is a lot different. Yeah, that's going to be annoying with the pen. Yeah. There's a reason why. But anyhow, so with gold, I'm still not convinced that it can't come down here. But we'll see. We'll see. Price action, we've got this uptrending. What the hell? I'm going to put this pen down. This uptrending support. We've still got this right here we could possibly hit. I don't know if this was trying to give us a topping style formation here, or if we're just going out too far. Like I've often considered, maybe I went out too far, and maybe it's just kind of like a little channel that formed, you know, something like this, which obviously is probably what it is. Even came up to these little tops here. So, I mean, it's tricky because I could see it being a head and shoulders here on gold. That's what my issue really is. That's why I'm building into a position in PAXG. It started down here, but I have no problem because I know what's happening with the U.S. It's tough for me with gold. It's tough with me for gold because I know it came outside that uptrend. And if that's a topping formation there, just like with crypto, it looks like they could drop a lot of things all at once. That looks like a bear flag possibly on the right side of this. So like, I'm not oblivious to what looks like is happening in the markets. Let me not get myself mistaken here. But I also think in 2025, it may be the last time we can buy gold, or at least if you haven't bought any, because that PAXG is not something I'm holding. That's just something I'm storing my value in. We may not get gold under. I've been buying gold for 8 years. I didn't buy any in 2024, like nothing that I could hold. And PAXG is just a way to get out of the US dollar because I know it's about to come at some point. So nominally, the US dollar might say it's worth. So I'm playing the long game here with certain parts of my assets. But like I could see a case for B2 gold at $1.95. So I have this battle with myself. So trading with J-Rod. Let me be clear here. Let's not be stupid. If it, for whatever reason, breaks this, make a decision, because that's what I'll probably have to do. If it breaks $2.32, don't just give them your money. You know, if you're watching this, I love B2 Gold, but don't just give them your money. I've seen this too many times. If it breaks that 232 area, I mean, in a commodity base, you're not getting taxed in the same way as with crypto. There's really no reason to hold it through a 17% drop if you can see it coming. The question is does it reverse out of any part of these? Because it is making higher lows. So you better be sure that it breaks. So I'm going to do my due diligence from this 12-cent drop or whatever it is, but you catch my drift. I said the same thing up here. I'm not going to sell it unless it makes me. Not going to sell unless it makes me. Then if you buy it down here, not going to sell it unless it makes you. But if it falls out of there, holy shit, we might get the deal of a lifetime. Because I could still see it coming to that 213 and holding. So who knows? Who knows? But it's a cool thing with gold and silver. Gold, you know, I appreciate that donation. And I really like gold. And I like talking about it. So I've targeted that 2,396 when I was calling a top up here. So, you know, I can't say I disagree with that analysis still. I'm just hoping it works its way out of here so we can get on and with it. But at the same time, it'd be a healthy correction for gold. You'd probably get a massive V-shaped recovery. Then I could listen to Peter Schiff talk about why it's going down and telling me every reason why. But, or why it's going to go back up after. But he's a big proponent. He used to bash Bitcoin a lot, but he's not in the way people think. Now, I think we have to take him more seriously when it comes, because it is a true Ponzi scheme, in my opinion. Like, this is what makes me nervous for this next stretch. How many people bought it plus 20% where we're at right now? So what I mean by that, how many people that are watching right now bought like XRP at 250 or above? How many people bought, you know, like XLM at 45 or above, or HBAR at 35 and above? Like, I'm just asking the audience for a basis question. Or who bought ZIL at 2.7 or 3 cents and above? You know, XDC at almost 10 cents when it was there, or DGB over 2 cents. I'm just curious, because anybody who bought there, it's going to feel different on a drop because they're already down. So everybody's got to be aware, you know, on a drop, what is your expectations? That's all I'm trying to do here. I'm showing both ways. I still think long term this is bullish regardless. And HBAR is almost down to where I talked about. Well, I still think it could come down to even, it came down pretty good. But it's the volume that doesn't feel right. If the volume is supposed to predict the price, how come on that last push up, why was it so low? That's what's bothering me with all these assets. Look at 2.1 billion on the push up. 2.1, 1.13 billion. Now look at this push up. 241 million and 594. It almost was like that was a trap. So that it could come down to its real potential, because it still felt like we could come all the way to, I put that there for a reason. I don't know, man. This feels like a setup for some reason. I can't help it. Hey, Tom, thanks for looking out for us with your TA. Appreciate the truth as always. What do you think about some sunny days on the new tablet? Ooh, I think sunny days will be real fire at the end of this live. For you, Joseph, I'll do it. And thank you for the $5 donation. I greatly appreciate it. You know, I realize too, though, with the response I got from the audience, it means we're right, unfortunately. It means we're right. Absolutely, Bolzak. A low volume with the pump is an artificial man-made pump, unfortunately. 100K XRP Moonbag, thank you for the $2 donations. Where are the $2 donations? Where is the major support level that we can hold XRP? Okay. So we've got a couple of them. The first, and this one that I drew out is just my own, you know, hey, maybe it'll do this. And then kind of take it out from here because we can see if it's going to be a big M or not. But I'll take you to the other chart that I haven't shown yet. The other chart, we're still in a pennant flag, which I still do the same thing out apparently, but you get the picture. And doesn't mean that it can go up from here either. Just means it would make what looks like a big topping reversal at the very worst. And it doesn't have to come all the way down there. I was just showing the gap area. The point is that I think it's going to make an inverse head and shoulders if this is bullish. We'll take a look at XRP Healthcare. We'll get into that in a second. But XRP Healthcare, there's no circumstance I'm selling because it's almost impossible to buy in the USA. And they're making it even more difficult within the wallets. They're suspending them in some of the wallets. Some of your more famous ones because they're running out of supply for what their future agenda is. So it's going to become harder and harder to scoop up some of these loose tokens. So I'm sitting off on selling that for a few years on XRP Healthcare. I haven't even looked at that available. I just let it do its job. But I'm going to look at the charts for everybody. But this uptrend, the first big support for XRP is that $1.98. It's $1.98. And isn't it crazy that $1.98 is the same support that was resistance in 2021? That's why you have to look at certain things. That's why you have to look at certain things. I long ago had to take my emotion out of it. And today, some of the comments and yesterday, it didn't rub me the wrong way, but it did. You know, because I after all these years, some of the people, it looks like it's time to get out of Tom's army, yada, yada. I mean, if that's the reason you want to, but I don't even know why anybody would have joined, knowing that I tell the truth. I'm not going to lie to you so that you get, that's what I've said from the beginning. Most people would lie to continue to pay the money. Oh, people are going to cancel out of my army and stop supporting me. Well, you know, if that's what telling the truth costs you, I'd rather get real money than blood money. And I've said it since the beginning. So I'll take the no money instead of blood money. How about that? And I'm okay with it. I can live with myself in that scenario. But what if you lose all your money, but you're going to keep paying for my support, keep paying for my army because I keep telling you it's going to go to oblivion at all times? No, I don't like that. So anyhow, look at the scenario here. We've got a bull flag, or a pennant flag. That's the support at $1.98. If that support were to be breached, we know that's the resistance of 2021. Would that be a good thing? No. We took 3 years to build up a base to get over that. Why is the volume dying at this level? It's good if it's to have a springboard back up, but where the RSI is starting to teeter on now, it's breaking past the median. And my RSI, for anybody who doesn't know, oh yeah, IOST is one that I'm looking to get even longer on. That's a confirmed one in the ISO. That's one that I'm not touching. And I have 100,000. That's one I'm looking to get even longer. See, whoever just talked about that, there's a reason for that one. That's its own entity. There's nothing else that seems to be doing on that front in the IoT. So that was a sleeping giant to me that I didn't even know about until somebody mentioned. I'm actually pretty crazy. I never seen it until a few weeks ago. But again, that's dropped down even more now. It's below like 0.007. Boy, I'll have to look at. But my RSI, the relative strength index, is inverted. So even though it looks like it's going up to overbought, that's actually oversold the area it's going to head into. But we broke over the median in a pretty big way. That looks like we're going to just keep pushing up into the upper echelon here. And, you know, we broke past that mid-tier point, so we have to start looking at some of the indicators. So we also have a death cross, which is a lagging indicator in the 4-hourly, which is why we got the bounce back immediately after. But if this breaks, because if it doesn't, we don't have to take Route 2. But right now it appears to me we might be in an ABC correction. Again, another technical indicator. And that ABC correction would speak to the same level. And the reason for that, well, maybe not as far, but maybe we need to clear out the FVG. I know there's one at $1.52 as well. So maybe we only need to come down to $1.52, but something tells me we're going to come sweep some of these zones possibly. It almost looks like, remember XLM's pennant flag that didn't play out? Oh, I would expect everything before Trump talks on the 1st. I would expect this correction to front run that. That's what I'm saying. I think something big's about to happen, but you got to get the liquidity to make the bigger springboard. So what better way than to shake out of... I'm telling you, every single time Bitcoin has gone up, it's gone down. It's been a ridiculous amount. And now we're in the midst of that with Bitcoin. It went from 108,000, what is it at? Oh, it's under 95? I thought it was at 96 earlier. But it's in this rising, broadening wedge. And it's already come down 13%. But if it loses at about another 1.7%, it initiates a drop that'll be another 15. So it's interesting because have we really back tested that breakout point on the cup and handle? Like, I started asking myself that the other day. And then when I got the results, I was too mad about the results to even honor it anymore in my lives. I just talked about the potential to 75 or 72. But if we're being honest with ourselves, has there really been a back test on Bitcoin? On the breakout of a long-term cup and handle? Right here? I don't see anything. I see that's not a big back test. I'm talking about a real back test that could bring you into the next level. I don't know. The more I start looking at these patterns, the more it made me feel like Bitcoin. That's why I set it on when it was at, well, it was almost 100,000. But now it's kind of treading on thin ice here. But that's why I started changing the analogy here a little bit of, hey, we do need a big correction. And what better way than we've never back tested the breakout. It's a staggering. Like, how do we go that high and not back test the breakout? And that's at 72. I still think 72's got a chance to hit. I really do. I'm telling you, my gut tells me somehow, some way, we're going to find ourselves back down there for Bitcoin. I'm telling you. And if I'm wrong, good. We make a lot of money. But if I'm right, you might make even more money if you understand and are heeding what I'm saying. And that's the bottom line. A drop here makes us a lot more money later. So when I'm begging for a drop so I can get longer in certain assets and people are getting pissed, oh, I want to make more money. I'm trying to become a millionaire in this cycle. I'm not waiting for 2 cycles. And this cycle might have just been a bear market rally for most altcoins. And if that's the case and we were able to go from 5 to 6 digits in that kind of a scenario, what the hell do you think is going to happen in a real bull market? Or if you were at least able to go from 3 to 4 digits. One person went from 5 to 7 already, so, you know. But that's what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to take it to the next level so we never, ever, ever in a new system have to worry about anything again. We've got less than 5 years to make this happen now. When I started, we had 9. So if we don't do it in the next 5 years, it's too late. Whatever your goals are, this last bear market was what you needed. Now we're just hoping that it gives us not a second chance, because I don't believe we'll ever go to those levels we've seen in the 30 cents. If we do, who the hell knows what's going on in that scenario? But it doesn't seem like in this current agenda, we can go any lower than like 72. Maybe that back test at 65 if I'm looking deeper. But it doesn't seem like we're going to have the testicular fortitude from the government when Trump starts pushing the reserve. It just seems like we need to fall off here. I can't help it. And I won't help it. If it reverses on me, it reverses on me. But this is what I'm seeing. But I'm telling you right now, if XRP goes down, I'm buying more. I don't care if it's at 91 cents. I'll buy more. I've already made up my mind. Even if it goes, there's certain... I might implore the side bag strategy where after it falls out of $1.98, if it happens, every 20% I buy like 3,000 XRP. You know, with the non-existent holdings of some of the waste bags that I got rid of. You see what I'm saying here? I can see a road here where I could probably add 2 to 3 times my holdings, and it doesn't even have to touch my wallet that it's in right now, and it can still, hey, I want to live on the fairy tale if I can only buy at 34, even though it's in a new cycle, that's fine. But I'm starting to think that there's a better route here. If this does create an inverse head and shoulders that's not even showing yet, the probability of dropping under $1.98 with everything I'm seeing in the market, with a pennant flag setup, I would normally say it's a 22% chance to drop out of $1.98. But because of everything I've said and everything that I can see possibly forming, I would say I would raise it from a 22% chance to a 36% chance. So now it's only a 64% chance, in my opinion, this pennant flag breaks out, which could be a good thing. The less optimistic I am, the more likely it'll be that it could break to the top side sooner. But I can't raise from an analytical approach when it's not giving me the proper fundamentals yet. I would still say it's a better than not chance this pennant flag plays out and we won't get that second chance for some to add for a first time, or for me to get greedy and maybe build another side bag like I did at 38 cents. That's possibly that's what I'm positioning myself for. So that's in the open. I'm also positioning myself to get much longer on XDC. There, it's all out in the open. Right, Julie? It's all out there. I want to get much longer on XDC. So with that being said, some of the shit's got to go. Some of the shit is gone. Excuse my friend. Some of the garbage has to be gone. It's got to be minute, but I'm not going to buy it at the wrong time. So if I'm getting longer on XDC, it means it comes down to this beautiful uptrend at 4.8. Don't hate and say it can't happen, because it can. So I'm looking to get longer on certain assets. I would like to hold 100,000 XDC when it's all said and done. So we'll see. We'll see. Greed only hurts you if you buy in the wrong levels. If it goes down to 4.4 cents, what is that? Every 10,000 tokens is what? $440? Am I doing this right? No, wait a minute. I think I'm doing it wrong. Wait a minute. No, I am doing it right. That's only, what, 440 bucks every 10,000? So 100,000 tokens would cost you, what, 4,000? Am I wrong? Would 100,000 cost you like 4,500 bucks at 4.5 cents? Oh, yeah, get out of Uphold. Don't use Uphold. I've been trying to warn about Uphold for so long because they still have 1,000 XRP of mine. I had 15,000 on Uphold. I've said this story many times. And it was actually in Julie's name in case something happened to me. And I sent it out of there into my wallet. And they only let me send 14,000 for some reason. So I gladly did it because I was going to take all I could. And then all of a sudden it sent us stuff that said, oh, for some reason they can't offer us an account anymore, even though she's done 3 tax. It's a nightmare. So they still have my 1,000 XRP. Exactly, that's what they did to hers. Wales, Josie Wales. So, yep, and it won't look like anything's wrong until you start trying to send your money out. That's what I noticed. It really, and somebody heeded the warning to me that had a 6-figure portfolio pushing 7, he said. And it was on Uphold, and he said the moment he started to try to take it out, the problem started. They wanted advanced verification. They wanted all this bullshit documents. And then by the time he got done, he still has about 125,000 that was on there. I don't know what's happened. He hasn't commented to us in like 6 months. But he had like 125,000 frozen. So, and they're not backed by anything. Like if you have your dollar in USD on Uphold, they're not giving you the FDIC backing. If you want to have a USD amount, go to crypto.com because it's backed. If it's in the US dollar, the USD in your side wallet, because there's a side wallet on there that has nothing to do with crypto. It's where your personal fiat is at. It's not even in your crypto holdings like USDT or USDC. It's actually in USD. And that's FDIC backed on crypto.com. It gets a lot of slack for some reason, but they actually give you that offer. And then you can get their crypto.com debit card, $400 a day if you get the Ruby level, which is having $500 of crypto.com token. But you get $25,000 that you can have it in a prepaid debit card. So you basically, hey, I got this money in crypto. I don't want to send it to the bank. You know. William, welcome in, and thanks for the $1.39 donation. And honestly, William, I have not been on Telegram. That's why I haven't unblocked you. Since I got my new tablet and my other phone, my new phone, I haven't looked at Telegram because I get a lot of rude people on there. So, you know, I kind of took it upon myself to kind of get rid of some of the noise here to start the new year. So at some point I'll re-upload the Telegram, but I'm going to clear my head for a few weeks, I think. With some things. I'm going to be laser focused on what I want to be. Like I told Julie, sometimes I got to just go to my own agenda here. That's why I started this channel. So the agenda is changing because I know this. I'm telling you, once we get to the next part, it's over. Once we get to the next chapter, we have no further chances. So I can either try to be at odds with certain people, or I can just call it for what it is and say it's all nonsense and it's irrelevant. Whether I'm emotionally attached, somebody else is emotionally attached, whether I think one thing, they think, who cares? At the end of the day, we either are going to do what we're going to do or we're not, and we're going to be fucked. So you can decide whether you want to be on the right side of town or the wrong. But I think a pattern has very much presented itself. And look, I misrepresented my own damn pattern. Son of a bitch. What is this? What am I looking at here? Is that XDC right now? Okay, maybe it doesn't need to come down that far. Look at XDC. If you just pull it back a little bit farther, XDC definitely set its trajectory. I think it's going to come down to 6.2 or 6.3. I think I need to do that with the rest of these. Maybe I already did it with XRP. I would like to see that next bounce come, just so I can get more, now that I think about it. Now I hope it happens. Death Cross, though, looming. So we should get either a rejection here or finally a breakthrough at $2.20. We just, for whatever reason, it can't muster up any strength. Again, though, I mean, even on this reversal, it's got to give us some volume. And if it goes up any farther, and this is where it makes me nervous, if it and it's so early in this candle, if it goes up here and then pulls back down, this is going to end up being like a gravestone doji. I've seen it a billion times before in bearish setups. Gives you that false hope of a reversal, but it's on the bottom side of the death cross and the 200-day, the looming death cross. So a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done here. It is setting up in a small possible push out, though. If it can hold the 200, you might push out here. Retest some of the upper boundaries. XRP is still in a pennant flag, so as much as it could break down is as much as it could break out to the all-time highs. Preferably, now that I see some potential here so we can clear some of our foes down below, I would really like to take care of that FVG gap at $1.58 and call it a day. Or $1.52, I mean. That's the fair value gap for anybody who doesn't know. Yeah, maybe the 3% that doesn't happen in a fair value gap, it skips 92 cents. But I would really like to take care of that one at $1.58 or $1.52. I would really like to take care of that in a really big way. That's why I'm trying to draw it out to where it makes sense. And some people get mad when they see, you know, maybe a future projectile that might not be in our own favor. But if we can project it into those times, like, look, this $1.67 might not be low enough. So in time, maybe that is the setup and it fills the gap. But it just takes a little bit longer and we start chopping down. There's nothing wrong with chopping down. We took the elevator up. Now we got to chop down. Remember what I always say? Take the elevator up. Take the stairs down. Take the stairs up. Take the elevator down. I prefer to take the elevator up because you have time at every level to make your mind up on the stairs down. That's just me. So maybe we know the fair value gap somewhere right there. So maybe on January 23rd, what significant event happens around that time for anybody who pays attention to the United States of America? What could be happening around January 23rd that could cause us to chop, and then maybe bounce? No, you're not waiting 5 years, friend. What happens around that time? I'm not saying that the chart predicts the news, but it's quite convenient that that level of $1.52 is right about inauguration. Well, my friend, you must not have been around for 2021, where it pumped even bigger in a shorter amount of time and fell back equally as quick. In 2021, XRP went from like 13 cents, built it up to 52 cents, and then rocketed up to $1.98 in just like a 2.5, 3 month span. And then it came all the way back down and then some. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, my biggest bag is going to be DGB. And it's come down and it's done me a solace because where I sold that other part of it was 1.38, I think it was. No, 1.3. I don't think it was 6. I think it was 5. Oh, whatever, 5. 135. And the estimations of being, I've already explained myself. I'm not going to do it again. I will. I'm going to buy more if it gets down to that holding point. I see holding parts of the pattern. DGB is just front running some of the rest of the market right now. I'm not afraid. I'm going to build the biggest bag of certain tokens that are underappreciated. I know my way now. XDC is going to the moon in my bag. So is DGB. ZIL, if it just comes down to like that 1.7 level again, I don't know. I'm going to go crazy on some of these. Because honestly, ZIL, I bought it at 1.5. It's barely done anything. It did some up here, but as far as coming back to this is the best possible scenario for some of these tokens right here. It was the same logic I had with HBAR, which could backfire, actually. HBAR, I had this nice rally on Christmas Eve, and I said, hey, I bought the uptrend, sold those 30,000 up here. Now my plan is either if it stays here, or more preferably where I marked it at 21.1, but even more preferably would be if it just comes back down to this unhonored time area. Even though we did break out of here, so this could be the evolution at 25 cents. You know, but I can look at this pattern and say, well, Tom, what the hell? That's not proper. You're right, because it's already evolved itself. So if you're evolving a pattern, you got to evolve the pattern. So, you know, now maybe that's not so efficient. You know, maybe that's what it's actually doing and it's back testing. So now it could find itself as low as 23.7. So now we start to work ourselves maybe into an area. So what I mean, the patterns evolve in real time. It's just a matter of, can your brain process and are you willing to admit it? The only difference between me and most people that trade and do technical analysis, I'm not afraid to switch my charts. That used to be my early criticism. Oh, his chart looks different than it did 2 months ago. It should. You should be evolving it. You should be messing with the chart. That's why I have a tablet. That's why I don't have an Apple, because I want to be able to do my own stuff and not be limited on third-party applications, like using the YouTube app while I do my live. You know, I need to have the freedom, but having the freedom means I can't have a bunch of indicators telling me what's going to happen. I like to have the EMA lines, 20, 50, 100, 200, because it tells me from 20 days all the way to 200 days what the traders are thinking. And right now the traders are getting a little bearish. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. The other thing that didn't take a rocket scientist is the crypto fear and greed index. Fear and... We know it was up at like 90 something when it was at the top, and we're like, oh, it's going to happen. Look at, how the hell do we still have greed? That's what I mean. We still have greed. Yeah, there's going to be I keep saying there's a reason I'm building my position in D. You know what? Honestly, I'm looking and looking and looking. The greed's at 70. I think we're going to get that drop on DGB, and I think it's going to, hopefully it comes to my level, because it is showing that bearish drop. If it comes down here and we see a 10% drop, I'm scooping it up. And I had 1 million before. I'm just telling you, the goal here is to succeed 1 million tokens of DGB. The goal is to succeed, if I'm being honest, 2 million, because nobody ever thought anybody be dumb enough to hold that many. And I get criticized a lot for DGB. I'm XRP future millionaire with the side bet on XLM and future Digibite OG. Oh, I've already bought over an 11 PAX G position right now with some of my profits over the last few months. So I know exactly what I'm doing there. I also have a nice precious metal bag. Real precious metals. Buy more PAX G. Heavenly Father, guide our heart and actions today, filling our hearts with wisdom, peace, and love. We walk in your purpose. Thank you for your grace and blessings. May we reflect your light in all. Hey, amen. Thank you for that, William. Yes, don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Yeshua. Love it. I buy every payday until 2 cents. I'm buying every week. Yep. See, you know. You get it. You're buying every week. I love that. I love it so much. Can XRP kind of lead the market and try to sway the other way? I don't know. I'm hoping so. If XRP could break out of this, it'd be nice. But I'm still trying to see where it would possibly build into. And I'm trying to build a scenario for a resurrection on inauguration, because we don't really want to see it pumping going into inauguration. We really want to see a dump. Remember what happened before Trump won the election? We had a dump. Like, that would give us almost a 50% retracement. That's like a 50% retracement to the T. That's our 50% retracement. That actually would do us a lot of good to hit that area. Oh, yeah, Robinhood. I've told my story in 2021, what got me into crypto. Robinhood, I was in a stock called NOK. It was Nokia. And it was during the short squeeze with AMC. There was another one, GameStop. And then NOK was the third leg of this. And I just happened to stumble upon their Wall Street Bets thing on, I don't know, some Reddit forum. I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? So I put $1,000 in options on NOK, not knowing anything besides the chart fundamentals. And I'm like, I mean, I don't really see anything here, but it doesn't look like it's going to drop. So I'll take out this option for a week. And I was on a hot streak at the time. Oh, was I on a hot streak? That all came crashing down. And the options within like 2 hours went from being worth 1,000 to 28,000. And I was shitting bricks. I was poor. And I'm like, oh my God. And I went to cash it out. And it said, we're sorry, you can't cash out. We've halted selling. I mean, halted selling options and the stock and only limited it to, or what did they do? Yeah, they halted it. And then during selling, I couldn't do anything with options. And the only thing you could do when it was halted is the actual stocks themselves, the shares of stock. They let people sell it, but you couldn't buy it while it was halted. But they weren't filling them. Like, I don't know if you understand what that means. So there was an order book filled with sell orders, but they weren't letting buy orders go into the system for when it came back online. So what do you think happened when it first came back online? You better believe it dumped, and my 28,000 turned into 8,000 in like a minute when it came back online. And it happened GameStop, AMC, NOC. And then I went to buy with $2,000 in the profits. I went to buy Dogecoin when it was at 0, 0, 0. And you know the story of Julie. We made like 1,000-something% on hers. Oh, shit, it was crazy. She went from multiple zeros to like, it was insane. But I went to buy a couple thousand because she was so adamant about having it. And they suspended my account when I went to buy it. And for a month and a half, I couldn't do anything. I kid you not. 12 hours later, Dogecoin went up like 60%. And I go, what the fuck? I go, no wonder they didn't want me to buy it. Then it consolidated. I'm like, can you give me my money so I can buy this, please? I didn't care that it went up. It was still in the zeros, a bunch of zeros. And Elon Musk was starting to talk about it. And they froze my money for like 90 days. Like $8,000. And all of a sudden, with all this bullshit, I finally got my money back. I said, I will never use this trash and I will never trade the stock market in this capacity again because it's all regulated bullshit. I might stick in commodities for the dividends because it's a little bit differently ran. Because there's a commodities trading, you guys know the CFTC. But I will never use the stock market. And I've never really traded a stock since. It's regulated nonsense. So that's why when everybody tells me, oh, we want regulation in crypto, bullshit. You've obviously never traded the stock market if you think regulations are good. It single-handedly is costing me so much money. Do they ever halt it when you're getting your ass hit? No. Do they ever halt it when it's going down too quick and you're getting your balls rang out? No, hell no. But they will every time it goes up too quick, it gets halted. Oh, the stock market halted. We're going up too quick. What do you mean we're going up too quick? We're getting rich. We're getting friggin' rich. Imagine if they halted XRP when it was at 270 and when it came back online, your next sell offer was $1.40. That's what you have to remember in a regulated environment. That's what's going to happen. So it doesn't even matter. Then you're forced to sell out on rallies because you don't know if it's going to get halted. That's the BS part. But don't even get me wild up on Robinhood. That's a whole nother entity in itself. But then again, that led me to crypto and it made me more money than I could have ever made on NOC. Oh, man. Whew. And it looks like, to me, we're taking the elevator. Damn it. I don't want to take the elevator, but we are. Until we're not, we are. Ready? For anybody who's never watched this. For anybody who's never watched me. When you take the elevator up, you take the stairs down until you either fall out or you hit your next support structure, and then you decide, are you going to take the stairs up or are you going to take the elevator back up to the promised land? And then if that plays out, let's just say we repeat zone 1. And in zone 2, we take the stairs back down and we hit our consolidation threshold. And in this case, we'll just use the FVG. Where are we at? You know, I really do like this new tablet. I didn't even buy a new anything to hold this on that was different. It's still what Julie bought me last year for Christmas. But what if it takes the stairs up, or it takes the elevator, takes the stairs down to back test the breakout, or it has just the volatile move way up, and then it takes the stairs down to back test and we go to the technical target. You know, this is often what happens. So if we just fill the pattern out, couldn't it be a descending wedge forming and not be afraid? Maybe it's not a pennant flag. Maybe it's a descending wedge. Maybe it was a descending wedge the entire time, and we were just trying to say it was a pennant flag because that's what it looked like. Who the hell knows? We never know. Maybe it's cutting itself off. I don't know. That's why I like to speculate. That's why I like to speculate. Frank, you are setting good. Hold. I only get on up elevators, not about those stairs. Oh, I know. With the stairs, it's month later, and we'll be back above $2 if there's a crash. Yeah, it's not. Well, that's not month later. In this scenario, remember, it's sped up. This is around Inauguration Day, so everything's happening quicker. That's why you're seeing movements faster than they normally are. I look at both scenarios. I look at all scenarios. I look at scenarios that might not even be out there. That's what I say. I can see a pattern form before it forms. Sometimes I don't like what I'm seeing. And right now I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm hoping that the pattern breaks and it continues and it stays on track. But every time we have a chance to stay on track, it just goes farther off track, and then it's like, oh, son of a bitch. And look, we're 51 minutes in already, like craziness. The Gatman, I believe, asked about XRP healthcare. This has been the toughest one as far as I knew I couldn't sell it, so I didn't want to see it go up the way it did. Because we don't have a real way to buy it in the USA anymore. It sucks. It sucks. So there's no way to just say, oh, I'm going to capitalize on this unless you never want to buy it back, which then I understand. But unless it breaks 12 cents, it's fine. But there is this scenario where I also started drawing out. That's why I started to clean this up a little bit. Where technically, I mean, the breakout point, if we look at that pennant flag in the beginning that we started, technically, I mean, I could make an argument that it could come down there and just prove that that area is the new floor for all time. Because imagine if we had an 8.7 cent floor instead of 1.7. That's a big difference. But I could argue that all of crypto is taking this projectile. It's trying to make a new floor, but we're not there yet. Like, oh, it absolutely can be a shakeout. Everything changes in the new year, folks. Especially once Trump makes that. They're going to sign something that's going to change everything. And once they do, we're going to get turned upside down. This isn't by accident that the stock market's correcting. Think of it this way. What's the one thing Biden and his administration can do on the way out? And remember, this is all political nonsense. Biden's not doing this. Biden's probably a good guy at heart, and he doesn't even care about any of this, and he's not in control of any of it either. So watch who's actually making the moves, like in chess. You know? So what's really happening here is that side will say, oh, Trump wants a booming crypto, Trump wants this, and they'll sabotage it in the eyes and the ruse of the media. Oh, what's going on here? This is supposed to be our saving grace. And then you'll get the right wing, the people, or everybody else will say, oh, Trump told retail to buy Bitcoin. It's dropping off. What the hell is going on? It's down $36,000 since the top. And then what happens? The U.S. adds to their Bitcoin reserve, and then it just starts going right back up. That's what's going to happen in some fashion. I think the market's trying to hint that to us. D-Crux, I bought 2.4 packs G today, my friend. I bought 2.4 more today. FYI. What do you think DGB will be in a few years? I don't like to speculate. I know in time, it's got a projection of mine that I think it's going to hit. But everybody who says it's going to go to multi-dollars, that's not my projection. So if you're living in that fantasy land, I can't help you. But my own fantasy land with DGB is it gets up to 41 cents, which is the technical target if it breaks out of the old resistance top. And in my opinion, with the amount that it came down in this bear market, the amount of length, if you measure it out, and then you try to play off of that, it should get it up to at least 40-something cents in time. So you imagine we buy it at 0.4, 0.8, 1.2, 1.0, 0.8, and it gets up to 42 cents in time. That's good. I was in DGB when it was at 15 cents when I sold it. It was a little higher. So even if it just gets up to 50, if it just hits all-time highs again, you're talking about, I mean, you get it. DGB 0.12 first rally. It could. It could. It's just, I'm just looking at the uptrend areas. We've already tapped here. The fact we couldn't hold the 20-day, a lot of times it'll come back and it'll fill some of that the exhaustion wick out. Either fill it all the way or it'll show a sign of strength and find a local support in the area. But we'll see. We'll see, because I can make a very compelling argument that nobody's even seeing that I put on here. In my own private time, my own compelling argument for DGB is this. And you guys tell me what you think. Then maybe we'll get on a better fundamental level of what I'm seeing. I really don't see anything more than this, if I'm being honest with myself. Like, we haven't technically, like, maybe not even back there. Maybe. Maybe that is where I was liking it. It was either there, I've been testing it, or right here, where you could do something like this. But I liked actually going like this and hitting this wick. Then you come out to this wick, and you kind of got like a flat base. So even if you run it out a little bit. So that's why I'm tugged into this area. I'm really tugged into that. And then when you line it up with the 200-day down there, I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. Absolutely, Pump Master Flash. And I'm okay with admitting when there's a double top in the area. Remember what we said, double top in the area. Now it's time to try to buy when it comes back down to the local support. I mean, if it comes down there and we hold these areas and some of the audience doesn't buy, we'll be sitting here and it may not be as soon as some want it to be, but we'll be sitting here one day and we're going to say, oh man, that was the one. That was the one. I think it's going to outperform XRP in the grand sense of XRP's already matured too much in comparison to DGB. DGB hasn't matured yet. It hasn't. Before I leave, we'll read that news about DGB in a sec. Well, if it's on TradingView. But the circulating supply is 17.4 billion right now. And then if you look at the total circuit, it's very attractive. DGB max. I should have put max circulating supply. Duh. Max circulating. 21 billion. It's approximately 1/5 of the total circulating supply that XRP will have. It's desirable. It's desirable, in my opinion. I'm going to be watching these very closely to see what kind of opportunities I can pick up over the next couple of weeks. I would get the fuck off of BitGot before that implodes. They had a whole scheme where they had on BitGot, and then they got rid of the USA part of the scheme. They had a scheme that came undone that they were actually paying people by tokens and then forcing them to lock up parts of their money that they were being paid in BGB just to get their initial money. So basically, the only reason the BGB token was pumping is because they had a line of, let's just call it unaware. I don't even want to just say influencers, because it was deeper. It was like the developers and the tech teams and all that. In order for them to get their commission payments from what they were doing on the teams, they had to own BGB for a set time frame. And what do you think's going to happen when all of that goes away? Like, I don't know, man. BitGot just went down a dark path, and that's one when you burn the bridges with the USA, there's a reason why. Yeah, do not. DGB does not. It has. Yeah, I'll let you keep talking. Oh yeah, they're very suspect, especially when they make up most of the capital on the exchange. That's why I got rid of BitGet long before they ever got rid of the USA. I said I call bullshit here, and for a moment I was a proponent of it for like about a 4-month period because the fees were so damn cheap and they had so many different up and coming tokens that you couldn't find anywhere else. And then when you start to realize it's only a hub for the shit tokens because they got to find a way to continue to make revenue when they're losing it so quickly, it starts to make sense when I looked at a little bit deeper into their papers. Look at VELO. VELO, I'm telling you, is trying to tell us something here, folks. There's no reason. There's no reason. I'm telling you, VELO did the common triple top just like some of the... it's telling us something. Some of these are telling us something, and it's fine because we came up to a resistance level. It's not supposed to do anything but consolidate. But those are local tops. It doesn't mean cycle tops, but understand the difference between a local top and a cycle top. A local top doesn't mean it has to correct 100%. A local top just means there's not enough buyers to push us through this, and now it's going to take a minute. We got to find the proper level. And for like VELO, it's telling us something. I'm just telling everybody. Don't have to be afraid of it, but it's telling us something. Ooh, we're going to find out real quick what it's telling us, too. I'll tell you what. Almost looks like it wants to come all the way back down here. We're going to have to keep watching this. Opportunity continues to build in gold and silver when nobody cares. Telling you, there's going to continue to be opportunities all the way down if it comes here. And if some of you don't hold gold and silver, if you just watch this happen, seems like a big move. It's not even a 10% move from here. Think of it. You're going to preserve your wealth with a discount. And this has taken decades to do this. Now, if you think gold's going to go down, that's one thing, all the way back down to the bottom of the pit. But remember, inflation continues. They continue to expand the money supply in the USA, which means the dollar is going to be de-dollarized, which is what Trump ran on, which means gold's going to go way up. Me too, gold and silver. Pumpmaster Flash, DGB is going to go to the moon. It's that proof of work and the support there fast and paired to Bitcoin on mining algorithm Doge. Yep, you know your shit. But everybody, I'm going to go. My son's out here. I want to go hang out. It's been an hour and 2 minutes. Have a blessed evening. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate the support. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Bitcoin dominance, believe it or not, had a big bounce back in the days following this, before this, but it's invalidated its death cross. There's a scenario where Bitcoin could drop, and this could maybe go up to that resistance that it never hit. But it's certainly coming down now. You'd want to see it lose the 57th percentile. But we got to remember, we need this to turn around. And maybe we'll get a turnaround. This, man, I can't believe it got that. I can believe it, but that harsh rejection at 3,500 is not good news. We need to get past there. We need to get past there. John Bugathorpe, thank you so much for not only being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor, but a $5 donation. So are you looking at XRP? I'm looking for XRP. Unless we can find some volume coming in, I don't see how we're going to avoid a tap at 198. I would love to see some volume here and just rotate it. We need some volume. If we get some volume, we can get some strength. Even if we don't have enough, we could still get back up to 246. Resistance. Could be a third resistance. We could also be coming to a third hit of support to validate the support structure, even if it's bullish. Do I expect XRP at $5.49 in 2025? I don't like to put limitations of a time frame, but if it was going to happen in this cycle, it would have to happen I mean, who says it has to happen that quick? Whenever the cycle decides then. I don't know. Some cycles take longer than others. Some take multi-year. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to having a multi-year steady bear market or bull market where we get big pumps and then we consolidate back down the corrective 50 to 75% and then continue up and just do a rinse and repeat for a couple years. That's what I'm hoping for in a super cycle, but that's just me. But we need to get this. The only way to tell us if we're in a super cycle or a traditional one is to have a big drop here. And if we go down about another 20 to 22%, that would be about a 50% correction from the top. That would solidify cutting us in half would be a big drop. So, but until then, we don't, I mean, we have so many gaps that are left filled that generally will fill like 90 to 97. Let's be honest. Somebody called me out because I used to say 90, but they're right. It's 97%. I just try to make it sound not as bad as it is. But if I'm being honest, 97% of the time you fill a fair value gap. And we have two looming ones. The first one I could see definitely hitting at $1.52. The second one, maybe it's the 3 percentile that we don't hit. And that's at 92 cents approximately. But you see the drop out of a broken pennant flag, that's a false pennant flag, technically would drop us down to around that dollar area. So, but yeah, if it goes down under $1, you, me, and everybody else in this community is going to be buying a shitload. So remember, you'll be able to do something. Oh, I remember I wasn't buying XRP then, but I've definitely studied the not so distant past. Even when I've been a part of it and what I haven't been a part of, I've studied it, so I understand how it goes. VELO you can get on HOTCOIN. And then I'm going to leave. I'll show you guys where I buy my stuff. And then it's up to you to make your proper decision. I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I going to tell you what to buy or what to sell. But BITUNIX is where I buy a lot of stuff, but that's the lowest maker taker, blah, 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 all that shit. HOTCOIN's got the VELO. So those are the, I would stick with BITUNIX, HOTCOIN, and crypto.com for their own reasons. But I got to go. Julie's waiting for me. I have to go. Have a blessed day. I haven't eaten yet. And like 18 hours now. I'm supposed to eat at 12, but because I did the live, I still haven't eaten yet today. So it's been 18 hours, almost 18 and a half hours since my last any kind of food, because I intermittent fast every day for the last almost 3 years now for 16 hours a day. So I'm going to go eat.